Says this was the time he was tortured.
The faylaqa, which is the hardest thing, they put something under your leg and then they just tied your legs, then they put handcuff in your hand and your hand should be like here and the baby's coming from your hands, coming across your legs, then to other hand, then they put you like this and my face should be like this and they hit you in your feet and legs until you give up and your hands should be like this.
All those accused of plotting the coup confessed under similar torture.
This is what they call it their professional way of investigating and getting the information.
This experience of detention is typical of prisoner testimony in Bahrain. He had previously been arrested in 2005 for having started his popular Bahrain online website without an official permit.
In 2005, I spent more than 13 hours from my investigation trying to explain for the officer, for the investigator and the prosecution what is the internet. In 2005, but after 5 years, they don't know anything about IT still.
While the authorities don't understand technology, the February 14th movement certainly does.
I have to admit it, our generation when we started the 90s Intifada, we couldn't get into that limit. We were not brave so much like these people. I have to just, what they call it, remove my cap, respecting them.
Yeah.
These are the new generation, the internet generation, and this is the this revolution is coming from the internet.
iPhone is our weapon because we can get all the news, we can be chat together, all our communication, make our life too easy.
This technology means everyone knows what's going on, instantly, wherever they are. Even Bahrainis who weren't at the roundabout saw the images of the shooting and the horrific aftermath. They were uploaded to the internet from protesters' mobile phones and were broadcast around the world immediately.
اختي بعيوني جبت البي اف قاعدين بهذا الاتجاه. اوكي اختي كلهم عندهم رشاشات على الارض مقعده.
The impact of Abda Ali Al Singas, telling his story in his blood-soaked shirt, can't be overestimated. It's become one of the iconic images of the protest. The power of technology is giving a voice to the people that the government can't control.
The point is, there is no center. It's not centralized. No, it's many, many heads together. There are thousands of heads, thousands of decisions, thousands of organizations. You cannot target one person and, okay, so this is the one responsible for 14th February. I'll pull them out, I can deal with them. This hidden force is managed by thousands of youth, smart brains. And that's the mega force and power of the 14th February, I believe.
Something that all the political societies, though they worked many, many, many years, they just couldn't put all of us together.
There are, however, politicians in the crowd. Ibrahim Sharif is leader of the opposition Wa'ad party and takes part in the present parliamentary system which the protesters want reformed. He's been at the protests from the start.
Is this a youth movement that is being supported by political groups, or is this a political movement that has embraced the youth?
It's the first one. It's a youth movement. They were ahead of us. We have to acknowledge that. These guys have been on the internet for, since Egypt started. And they chose a very good date, actually. 14th of February is the date of constitutional coup d'etat of 2002.
Sharif is a Sunni, but those around him seem a mixed group. The message of the protesters is clear. The February 14th movement is about unity, not sectarianism. But the king is warning that protests will lead to the sectarian abyss and has raised the spectre of neighbouring Shiite Iran taking over the country.
بالنسبة لنا نسأل الشباب أحبيكم يبي دولة دينية يقول لك لا أحبيكم يبي دولة مثل إيران ولا يبي دولة لا ما لنا شغل.
It's a powerful bogeyman for countries across the globe, not least the US, which has a major naval base here. But it's something the protesters want to refute.
الشباب اللي هني في الدوار ما عندهم شيء ضد الطائفة السنية. إذا كنتم أنتم متكتلين تعتقدون أن تبون تحمون السنة، فأول ناس مستعدين يحمون السنة الشباب في الدوار. ما تبون نوصل لهم الكلام؟ نعم. ما تبون نوصل لهم إن الشباب هني لما رحنا لهم قلنا لهم أحد فيكم يبي دولة دينية على طريقة إيران؟ قالوا لنا لا ما نبي. يمكن في لا نقول أكيد في قليل. ما في ولا قليل. ما في علماء.
This sentiment is echoed by young activists at Lulu Roundabout.
We were accused by the Sunnis that we don't want Al Khalifa here because we want to bring Iran here. And it's ridiculous. There's no way we replace a dictator with another dictator. Bahrain is a free country. It will remain a free country. It's for all Bahrainis, no matter what you are, whether if you're Sunni, whether if you're Shia, whether if you're Jew, whether if you're Christian. It's for everybody.
The Al Khalifa royal family is offering dialogue, but with 7 people killed and hundreds more injured, the protesters feel the time for talking has passed. A group of 6 political parties is discussing preconditions for talks, but the young people here are clear. Her sign reads, "Don't ignore us, we don't want dialogue."
There is nothing such as dialogue with the one which has murdered the Bahraini people. There isn't anything such as dialogue with the criminals. I believe Al Khalifa is just like cancer, and the way how we're going to deal with this regime is exactly the same way how we treat ourselves from cancer. So the only way is to cut them off and heal completely from them.
There is good reason for skepticism about dialogue. In 2001, as discussions for a new democratic constitution were underway, the king unilaterally imposed the current disputed political system. Even the parties involved in the talks have doubts about the king's integrity.
Some of the people here are very worried that if we go into a dialogue, the government or the regime will give us a deal and then we'll renege on the deal. They remember the 2001 when the national charter was agreed in a referendum, only to find out that a year later, on 14th of February 2002, that the king also reneged on the promise of the national charter. And so they're telling us they will trick you, they will trick you.
Hassan Moushema, head of the outlawed Hack political party, has been in and out of prison for years. He recently returned from the UK, is clearly respected by the people, and has chosen to boycott the talks. He knows the Al Khalifa family better than most, having dealt with them for over 40 years.
We met the king himself in London, and we sat together, we talked about the necessity of dialogue. And I told him, I said to him that we have rights, we have demands. Let us sit at the table, discuss everything, and then of course we'll cooperate together to build our country. But unfortunately, after that, when I came back home, they arrested me. So what kind of people are these? Al Khalifa's or the regime is not believing of democracy, is not believing of human rights, is not believing of dialogue. So it's just they want to show the world that we have discussed and we have started, of course, the dialogue, which is not true. Some people in America and others, they believe them. They know it's not true, but they believe them. They say, okay, why don't you go to the dialogue? And there is no dialogue.
Down with the monarchy! Down with the monarchy!
On Monday, March 7th, protesters went to the US Embassy, well aware how much influence the Americans have with King Hamad. They say Washington's pro-monarchy approach is supporting the oppression.
Stop supporting dictators! Stop supporting dictators! Stop supporting dictators!
Embassy staff came out to listen to their views. But the US has praised King Hamad for his restraint in pulling back security forces. They said that he has earned the right to pursue a solution through dialogue. The protesters are determined to change Washington's mind. With the Americans taking a much tougher approach to Libya, Bahrainis are asking the question, why are there double standards over what should be done when a